Welcome back. Today we are talking about the formula shortage with Dr. Angela Hartzell with Cone Health Pediatric Teaching Service. So we talked about formula alternatives before the break. This time around, we're going to talk about other feeding options for some, like breastfeeding. So for breastfeeding moms, should they go ahead and plan to breastfeed a little longer than maybe they had originally planned?
Yeah, as a pediatrician, I'm a huge advocate for breastfeeding. And the Academy of Pediatrics recommends exclusive breastfeeding up to 6 months for babies, and then up to a year or longer as long as it's mutually beneficial for the infant and the mother. So I would certainly recommend, given this formula shortage, breast milk is the perfect food and is readily available if a mom is already breastfeeding. So I would continue to breastfeed as long as you can.
All right, and so should they be looking at ways to maybe increase their milk supply and then maybe freeze it?
That is a fantastic option. I'm so glad that you brought that up, Tanya. Right, if you're making additional milk, some ways that you can increase your production are staying hydrated, for moms to get enough rest, and eating a nutrient dense diet, like adding lean proteins. Moms will produce more if they're reducing their stress and increasing the demand of breast milk by pumping at least 8 times in 24 hours. And so if there's additional milk, you can certainly store that for when your baby needs it.
All right, well, speaking of that, I have no idea. How long can you freeze breast milk for?
Yeah, so in a normal refrigerator freezer, breast milk can be stored for 6 to 12 months.
Oh, okay, so 6 to 12 months. I know this is like really an unsettling time for many parents and parents-to-be. So do you have any kind of thoughts or a message to those parents as they're kind of going through this now, thinking to themselves, okay, is this shortage going to work itself out? Is there still going to be a problem when my baby is born? Those kinds of things.
So I think one message is that you don't have to go through this alone. So your pediatrician is a great resource, or your family doctor is a great resource as you're navigating the shortage. Additionally, there are lactation consultants, especially for breastfeeding families, to support moms in this community. There's a lot of resources on the Cone Health website, the AAP, the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, to help with these challenging times. And I think, like you stated before, with the opening of the Michigan plant, there is some hope on the horizon for the shortage to be alleviated. So there's many resources in the community. Everyone is going through this at the same time. And so reach out to any of these healthcare providers if you need support to help you through this crisis.
Mm-hmm. And just in case some folks are kind of joining us a little bit later on, can we go back down the quick list of do's and don'ts for parents right now when it comes to baby formula?
Sure. So some of the do's are breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is fantastic, or pump if you can to store some breast milk. Switching brands within the same type of formula is totally safe, as long as your baby does not have any severe food allergies or special medical conditions. Your baby probably can drink any FDA regulated formula product for infants. Babies over 6 months can safely eat table food or start solid foods if they're developmentally ready. You can always substitute liquid formula for powdered if that's all you can find.
All right, and let's do the 2 big don'ts.
Okay, the 2 big don'ts are: don't dilute formula to stretch your formula supply by adding water, because that could be very serious for your baby and cause damage. Mm-hmm. And don't make homemade formula, even though it is enticing during this time to think of a homemade solution. It is unsafe. It could lead to serious consequences for your baby. So try to follow the regular routes to obtain formula.
Okay, great. All right, so you can find all of this information posted on WFMYnews2.com. We want to make sure it's a good resource for you at this time.